Welcome back to our channel, where we explore alternate histories and the fascinating possibilities of what might have been. Today, we're diving into one of the most pivotal moments in American history and asking the question, what if the South won the Civil War?
The American Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was a defining conflict that shaped the future of the United States. Over 600,000 lives were lost, and the war led to the abolition of slavery, the preservation of the Union, and significant economic and social changes. But what if the South had emerged victorious? Let's explore this intriguing alternate reality.
By the mid-19th century, the United States was a nation divided. The northern states were industrializing rapidly, while the southern states remained largely agricultural, reliant on slave labor for their economic success. But what if the Confederacy had managed to secure its independence?
In this alternate timeline, the Confederacy wins a decisive battle, perhaps at Gettysburg, breaking the Union's will to fight. International recognition and support from Britain and France might bolster the South, leading to a negotiated peace and the establishment of the Confederate States of America as an independent nation. With the South winning the war, the United States is divided into two separate countries, the Union and the Confederacy. The Confederacy, with its economy heavily dependent on slavery, continues to maintain the institution of slavery for a longer period.
The economic trajectories of these two nations diverge significantly. The North, free from the burden of rebuilding the South, continues its rapid industrialization and becomes a major economic power. Meanwhile, the South remains predominantly agricultural and slow to industrialize, struggling with economic challenges due to its resistance to technological advancements. Politically, the Confederacy faces internal strife and challenges in maintaining a unified government. The principle of states' rights, which was a cornerstone of the Confederacy, leads to tensions and conflicts among its member states, weakening central authority.
Key figures play different roles in this alternate timeline. Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederacy, might focus on solidifying the new nation's independence and creating diplomatic relationships with European powers. Robert E. Lee, the Confederacy's leading general, could become a prominent political leader.
On the Union side, Abraham Lincoln's legacy would be dramatically altered. Defeated in his efforts to preserve the Union, Lincoln might retreat from public life or become a symbol of resistance in the North, advocating for abolition and equality. Ulysses S. Grant might focus on reforming and rebuilding the North.
One of the most significant impacts of this alternate history would be on the civil rights movement. Without the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment, slavery persists in the Confederacy, creating a society deeply divided by race. The struggle for civil rights in the South would be prolonged and more violent. Influential abolitionists like Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman would continue their fight in a much more hostile environment.
The relationship between the Union and the Confederacy is fraught with tension. Border skirmishes and conflicts over territories in the West become common, and a Cold War-like state of affairs might develop, with both nations vying for influence and control in North America.
On the international stage, the divided United States has a significant impact. The Union and the Confederacy developed different foreign policies and alliances. The Union, industrialized and economically powerful, might align more closely with European powers like Britain and Germany. The Confederacy might seek support from other nations with similar economic structures, such as Brazil or Cuba, where slavery was still practiced.
Culturally, the division between the North and South deepens. The Confederacy develops a distinct national identity, separate from the Union, with its own traditions, values, and social norms. The legacy of slavery and racial segregation leaves a lasting impact on Southern society. Westward expansion also takes a different path. Both the Union and the Confederacy compete for control over Western territories, leading to conflicts with indigenous populations and with each other. The balance of power in North America remains in flux.
Now, let's consider the significant benefits that arose from the North winning the Civil War. The Union's victory ensured the preservation of the United States as a single, unified nation, setting the stage for its emergence as a global economic and military powerhouse. One of the most transformative outcomes was the abolition of slavery. which marked a monumental advance in civil rights and paved the way for the 14th and 15th Amendments. These amendments granted citizenship and voting rights to formerly enslaved people, laying the foundation for future progress in social justice and equality.
Another critical aspect to consider is the moral and ethical progress that resulted from the Union's victory. The abolition of slavery not only freed millions of African Americans, but also set the stage for future movements advocating for equality and human rights. The civil rights movement of the 1960s led to landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, further dismantling institutional racism and promoting social justice. Socially, the end of the Civil War paved the way for a more cohesive national identity. While regional differences remained, the concept of a single, united nation became more firmly entrenched in the American consciousness. This unity was crucial during times of national crisis, such as the World Wars and the Great Depression.
The Union victory also had profound implications for America's role in the world. A unified United States emerged as a formidable global power, capable of influencing international affairs and promoting democratic values. The American experience with civil rights and democracy served as an inspiration for other nations, grappling with issues of freedom and equality. Ultimately, if the South had won the Civil War, the United States as we know it would not exist. The divided nations of the Union and the Confederacy would each face their own sets of challenges and opportunities. The Union's victory ensured the survival of a nation dedicated to the principles of liberty, equality, and justice, paving the way for the diverse, dynamic country we see today.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through alternate history. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos. Let us know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious and keep dreaming big.